Hello. Can anyone hear me? Okay. We'll start at sharp 7 o'clock. Uh, Let me check. Hi. Welcome. Hi everyone who has joined just now. Last 15 minutes left. I guess everyone can hear me. Let me have a quick audio check if everyone can hear me. Everyone can. Let me have a quick audio check if everyone can hear me. Oh, it's just me. Welcome everyone who has just joined. We are about to start in 12 minutes, you can say. Fun. So you can hear me. Yeah. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. We'll start in 11 minutes. Last 11 minutes. Let's see. Last 10 minutes. I hope I am audible. Yeah. Waiting for some more. We'll start in few minutes. 9 minutes. Let's go. Counting down. Waiting for some more parents to join in. We'll start. Last 6 minutes. We'll start. Let me see. We'll start in a while. Last 5 minutes. Hi. Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. We'll start in last 4 minutes, sorry. Let me set. Okay, join fast. Hi everyone. Hi everyone who has joined just now. Send me a hi or any emoji if you can hear me clearly. Send any emoji. Let me see how many of you are active in the chat box. Let's go, let's go. Hi Sharon. Hi Donny. Hi Panicha, Shanley. Hi, hi Panicha. Hi Amy. Hi, welcome. Last 3 minutes. Hi Abigail. Last 3 minutes. Let's see. Hi everyone. Hi. If you can hear me clearly, send a hi, or any emoji. Let's see. Okay, we'll be starting in 2 minutes. Let's go. Hi. Hi everyone. Hello. Starting off in just last 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Hi everyone. Hello. Oh, nice name. Who's this? Oh, last 1 minute to go, everyone. Hi, it's me, Tokyong. Hi, Tokyong. Pleasure meeting you after a long time. Okay, we'll start in a while. Last 1 minute. In 1 minute, we'll start. Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. Let's go. Send me a hi on the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, so now we'll start off with the seminar since it's 7. Without wasting any time, let's get started. So, in today's seminar, what we are going to discuss is about the plans on how we can target our dream school and also what is the plan that we have to follow in this PSLE journey so that we can achieve our dream school. Before starting the seminar, let me introduce myself. I'm Teacher Smith and I'll be conducting the seminar for today. I'm currently the head of the PSLE department in Kangaroo Learning Center. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So the content that we are going to discuss today is mainly of 3 parts. The first part, we will talk about what is the situation of current Singapore secondary school. that's happening around. The second part that we'll discuss is which path to choose to get into the dream school. And lastly, we'll talk about what is the PSLE plans and preparation that we have to follow so that we can achieve our dream school without wasting any time. So let's get started with the first part, that is learning and understanding about what is the current situation of schools in Singapore. So, if we are targeting for a school, we all have a dream that we have to get into the best school in Singapore. So, how to know that which school is the best and which one is the next? For that, we need to check the cutoff scores for the school. So, here, if I show you the cutoff scores for the schools that are present here, so here we have listed only 17 of the top IP schools that are present. These are nothing but some of the dream schools for many of the students currently. So here, if you analyze the table clearly, the first column are number of schools. Their names are written here, 17 of them are present. The second column, you can see some of the initials are written. If I describe it more clearly, the second column is about affiliation. Third is about non-affiliation. Then the posting groups. Posting group 3, 2 and 1. Now what is this? Here if you pay attention closely, this 17 of the IP schools that are present, here there are the cutoff scores that are listed. Now what is a non-affiliated school? Non-affiliated school means if currently your child is in primary school. So to get into this schools, he has to pass out this cutoff score that is present. PSLE score range of lower 4 and maximum it can get to only 6. So 6 is the cutoff score to get into the schools that are present. And if it's 4, 4 means he can get into admission in any of the Singapore secondary school. So here, what does affiliation means? Currently, if your student is, let's say, in Anglo-Chinese, if you pay attention here, it is affiliated to. So what we can do is, if the student is in primary, he can get the admission in secondary in the same school using higher cutoff marks. That is from 17 to 13. You can see there's a lot of difference between affiliation and non-affiliation. So these are the nothing but 17 of the IP schools that are present. But at the end, you can see there's a highlighting that is present. NUSH High School of Math and Science. Here, there are no cutoffs that are given. The reason is NUSH only takes the admission through DSA process. They have their own DSA criteria. They don't select students based on posting. So, if I talk more about it, NUSH only accepts DSA students. So, there's no posting that is required and the acceptance rate is just 6%. So this is just about the 17 of the IP schools that are present. So based on the cutoff, you can take admission into Singapore secondary school. But these are not just the only factors that can determine which school you should select. There are other factors also that can affect the selection. Let me talk some of the factors that are present. The first factor that can influence, as I just said, is PSLE score. If the student can manage to get a PSLE score of total 4, this means AL1 in all the 4 subjects, he can take admission in any of the schools present in Singapore. So the first thing that matters is the achievement level, and it's between 1 to 8 for each of the subject and 1 being the lowest. Then the second part is about the cutoff point. Yes, it also determined by the cutoff of the school. So making sure we satisfy these two things. This is just the first factor that can affect. The second factor that can affect is about the culture of the school. Now, what is the culture of the school? There are basically two types of schools that are present. That is Chinese and other culture. Let's say most of the parents are preferred that the student should go into a school that is more lit. This highlighted schools are nothing but schools which prefer Chinese. Here you can see Wachong Institution. You can see in the same. So here are the list of 11 SAP schools that prefer students which can speak Chinese very well. So for that, they have it can be distinction or merit. Here you can see D stands for reputed and prestigious schools in Singapore. These are the two most reputed schools you can say. Raffles Institute and Watchung. The reason why these two are most reputed is because of their past history. These are the top two most oldest schools. They have a long history, you can say. And also, the best part is for Raffles in the year 2021, I have written it down. For Oxford and Cambridge, their acceptance rate, the success rate of getting the admission in Oxford and Cambridge was 25.2%. This was for Raffles. And for Wachong, it was 26.8%. So you see how reputation and prestige affects your choice of selecting the school. This is nothing but the third factor. We all need a school that is much more reputed as compared to others. So if you have choices between two, you will think about getting a reputed school out of this two. Then talking about the next factor, that is all students' favorite, that is co-curricular activity. Students have their own preference using regarding the curricular activities. Some students want some of the particular sports in which they want to grow upon. So they will look for a school that supports their decision. And here is one of the example that I've given about Kwachong, let's say. These are the co-curricular activities that is supported by Huachong. These are the activities that are present. And not just this, the schools are giving more preference. This means less academics, more time for practice, you can say. So here are some of the examples. Here, this student, that is the example that is given to you. One of the student, Eugene Ong. He was nothing but he got the private pilot license by using the co-curricular activity and SYFC. And let's say if you're eager to learn more about the co-curricular activities about a particular school, you can check their Facebook page. You can follow them on Facebook to get more information about their co-curricular activity. So this was just about one school, that is Huachong. If I show you more about it, that is regarding the next top school, Raffles. Here you can see there's a big news that is present on 45th Southeast Asian Age Group Swimming Championship 2023, the Rafflesians winning 6 gold, 8 silver and 3 bronzes. So you see how the school support child in co-curricular activity and is determined. And also if you are eager to know more about the CCAs, here you can follow them on Facebook to know more. So this is nothing but the fourth factor that can affect your decision in choosing the school. There is another factor which can affect, that is the affiliation, as I just said. If I show you the list of schools here, the 17 of the IP schools, you can check the list. The second of the column, that is affiliation. You can compare the scores. Let's say for an example, Anglo-Chinese. If the student currently in primary school is in Anglo-Chinese, he needs to attain score of 7 to 13, which is much more higher, you can say, as compared to the non-affiliated student. For non-affiliation, the score must be lower. This means it's getting more challenging for them. But for affiliated students, it's just easy. It's 7 to 13 for Nanyang Girls School Methodist. So these are the schools that prefers affiliation. The reason why they prefer affiliation is because in primary school, the student knows what the culture is for the school. Even the school prefers a child that understands their culture. That is the reason why they want to keep these students with them for a longer period of time. That is the reason why affiliation plays a very important role in determining the selection process. And the next is nothing but the distance, you can say. We all want a school that is just near to our house so that the commute time between the school to your home is saved. So this is the another factor that can affect your decision. If the school is further, you may think whether to take admission or not. Even parents will think if the school is close, we can go to parents' activities in school for a longer period of time. This is nothing but about distance. The next factor is gender. Now, most of the parents who are having daughter as their child, they will prefer a school that is nothing but a girls' school. So there are two types of schools that are present: single sex and co-ed. Now, what is a single sex schools? It's basically a school which has all boys, single sex. That is Raffles Institute, Wachong. These are just two of the examples. There are many more. All girls school. Nanyang Girls School, Singapore Chinese Girls School. Again, some of the examples that I've given. Single sex for boys and girls, but co-ed school, preferring both of them. So this can also determine, it can affect the decision in choosing the school. Let me see some of the parents that are commenting. Uh, oh, is it recorded? Is it lagging? Let me see. Very lagging, cannot hear. Is it lagging and still no sound? Can hear me clearly? Tried few times but can't. Can't hear it clearly now. Let me change the audio setting. Let me check. Okay. I think now can you hear me clearly? I think so. Okay, moving on to the next part, the second part. So first was nothing but understanding the situation in Singapore. What is the current scenario regarding the Singapore secondary education? The next thing that we are going to talk about is which path to choose to get into a dream school. Now, if we want to choose a path, we all know there are two paths that we can choose to get into secondary education. The first path is using DSA, that is direct school admission. Now, the direct school admission starts at the end of the April. DSA is actually a very detailed topic. It involves a lot of factors and things. So here in this seminar, we are going to talk only about PSLE. That is the next part. DSA is quite detailed. So we are planning to do a seminar again at the end of the March, which will involve how to approach in the DSA process. Exit and re-enter is okay now. Okay, parents can hear me clearly now? Okay, now can finally hear. Okay, let's go, let's go. So this is just the first part, that is DSA. We are going to see about DSA around March when the DSA process starts. But for now, we'll talk only about the second part, that is PSL. So first of all, we need to have an overall understanding what PSLE is and what is the current process. So for PSLE, the overall information if I talk about, we know subjects. For subjects, there are four of the subjects that are involved. English, science, math and mother tongue. Now some of the students can also choose higher mother tongue in this area. These are the four subjects that we know. And on top of it, the PSLE examination dates are nothing but around mid-August it starts to early October. These are nothing but just an overall information. It's just an idea about what the exam is. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about regarding PSLE is the timetable. So this is the timetable for current year. This year, next year, the timetable will be changed. But to get an idea about the timetable, here you can see the oral examination. It started in the mid of the August and oral examination got started. Then the next thing is listening comprehension exam. It started in mid of September. And you can see the timing. It was just for 35 minutes. Foundational Chinese language just for 40 minutes, you can see. And then comes the written part, the challenging one at the end of September. Each of the subjects got started. Since we are more focused on maths, let's check maths. For maths, it was on 27th September this year. Paper 1 and paper 2 for 1 hour and 1 hour 30 minutes. So what we have seen, we saw what is the overall information. We also saw what are the times that it has. If you want to visualize it more clearly, here I have drawn a timeline for you. So it becomes very simple for us to understand. The timetable is nothing but in the mid of August, oral examination got started. Then in mid of September, listening comprehension exam was present. Then at the end of September till the first week of October, written examinations were there. This is nothing but the timeline for this year. So what we have seen, the overall information and timeline. Now let's understand how it is scored, how PSLE is scored. So talking about the first subject, that is math, my favorite subject. So regarding math, here we know there are two papers. It's just like paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1, the total marks is 45 marks and paper 2 is 55. So paper 1, paper 2 in total is 100 marks. So for math, it is 100. The next subject is science. And if you pay attention closely, we have again two booklets, booklet A and booklet B. For A, the marks is 56 and B, it's 44. So again, you can see the total marks is 100 again. Now talking about the next subject, that is English. For English also, you can see marks column here. Pay attention closely. Marks, total marks is 200. So for languages, it is 200 for English, and for mother tongue also, if you pay attention closely here, this is nothing but 200 again. So if I summarize how it is scored, for maths is 100, science is 100, English it's 200. But to check the AL score, this 200 can be converted into percentage, that is 100. And also the last mother tongue can also be converted to 100. And how it is marked? Based on the AL ranking. So if the marks is greater than 90, then he can achieve AL1. If it's between 85 to 89, he can get AL2 and so on. So what we have seen till now is what is PSLE, how many subjects were there, what is the timeline, and how it is scored. Now, since there are four of the subjects, but we are more focused on area that is math, I'm going to go in depth about math now. That is PSLE math. Now, for math, what we need to understand is the first thing, how challenging it can be for the student regarding PSLE. So to understand the challenge, we need to first understand how difficult it can get using an analysis. So if I show you the topic analysis for paper 1 and paper 2, here you can see a pie chart representing the topics that are tested in paper 1 and paper 2. Let's pay attention closely. Here in the pie chart, you can see some topics have heavy portion and some topics have lower proportion. Now, what does that indicate? This indicates topics having more proportion means these are important topics. So, if I list down three of the most important topics, these are the three. Area and volume for 21.7%, fractions ratio and percentage for 21.7, again the same, and geometry for 16.3. Now, this all topics of paper 1 and paper 2, if I list all the key points that a student has to learn, it looks something like this. You can have a look here. These are the topics, that is, let's say for an example, whole number. And these are all the key points that are tested in just one topic. Here are the list of the 12 topics that are present and tested in paper 1 and paper 2. Now, we saw what are the important topics. Now, let's see what are the difficult topics that are tested in this. Now, out of all this, to check which topic is difficult, for that we need to check the analysis of paper 2. Why paper 2? The reason is paper 2 is the only paper that tests the challenging part, the challenging questions, you can say. So, if I give you an analysis of paper 2, this is what it looks like. This is the pie chart in which we can focus on. So this is from year 2021 to 2023, past 3 years, paper 2 analysis. Again the same thing here. You can see some topics have heavy proportion, some topics have lower proportion. So heavy proportion is nothing but most difficult. So if I take out most difficult topics, these are nothing but area and volume for 31%, fraction ratio percentage for 25, and geometry for 14.5 percentage. So what we can understand, difficult topics are here. So if I list down all the key points, here it looks like something like this. Here, under geometry, there are two of the most important difficult key points that are tested. In total, if I count all this, there are 33 of the difficult points that are tested. So if I summarize it for you, it looks something like this. So in we saw paper 1, paper 2. Both have in total of 12 topics that are tested. In this 12 topics, the first one, that is paper 1 and paper 2, test 77 of the key points. And this 77, you can say, are important key points in both paper. Then we saw 33 of the difficult points that are tested. So here is just an in general summary of how PSLE math looks like in terms of key points. There are 77 and 33 difficult key points you can say. This is regarding key points. But what about questions? There are questions that are challenging for students regarding key points also. So to understand these challenges, first we have to understand what is the characteristic of a PSLE math question. So that is the next part of our seminar. What's the characteristic of PSLE math? So key points we have seen. This is just the first part. Regarding the questions, let's have a look here. Now this is something very interesting and I want every one of you to pay attention here. Check. In the year 2021, there was a strange question that was asked. If I show you a newspaper cutout from this, the CNS said, how to solve 2021 PSLE Maths exam question about Helen's uneven coin. Now this question was very strange and very particular. The newspaper's second subheading said, if adults were to take the PSLE again, a lot wouldn't make it. So you understand this question was particularly the most difficult question asked in 2021. And it's not just one newspaper. It has been tested in other also. The next newspaper reading said, the PSLE math problem that got everyone calculating and asking. Believe me, in the year 2021, because of this question, it made most of the students cry. So, what makes this question different as compared to other questions? Let's understand this. So, if I show you the actual question of PSLE 2021 paper 2 question 50. This was the question that was tested for Helen and Even. If we pay attention here, the question is saying about the total number of coin about the two of them. They have two different types of coin, 50-cent coins and 20-cent coins. But the challenge is here mass is given. The total mass of the coins for both of them that is given about 1.134 and the total number of coins that is 104 20-cent coins. The reason that this question is challenging is because this question in particular was never tested before. This knowledge point in particular was very new to the child. That is the reason why most of the students couldn't make it. So the characteristic of this question is, it is a new question that was never tested before. This question was never seen. So, why this question has never seen? The reason was the knowledge point used to solve this question was new for the student. So, the knowledge point was seeking commonalities while preserving differences. This is a new knowledge point that was tested in this paper. And it's not just this. PSLE math tests every year some of the interesting key points and that makes students cry about it. So this is nothing but the first characteristic of a PSLE question. There are new questions that had never been tested before or the student has never seen these topics before. This is the first characteristic. The second characteristic is also very interesting. Let's say for an example, this question that is present. PSLE 2020 paper 2 question 14. If you have a look at the question is having total value that is $108. There is a fraction that is present that is 2/3 and it also gives us a relation that is a multiple relation that is 3 times and also two types of coin, $1 and 50-cent coins. But the question is asking me about how many coins, the number of coins that is asking. So if you pay attention, it is nothing but value and it's asking me number. So this question is particular, is money value and coin number type of problem. But in particular, to solve this question, there is a fraction given and multiple relation. So this is fraction multiple type of problem. But if you are able to solve this question, if you have a look, this topic, fraction multiple, is something that students know. but when they are combined together, it becomes difficult for the student. So you see, these are something no knowledge point, but still when put into a question, it becomes challenging for the question. This is nothing but the second characteristic of a PSLE math question. That is, even if the knowledge point is known, but still it is difficult for student to solve. If I show you a similar type of question that was tested in PSLE 2021, the next following year, same paper 2, question 14. Here also, if you pay attention, the question is given as money and price per ticket. And if you pay attention, it also says the number of tickets sold was 5 times. 5 times means it gives us a relation of multiple in between two quantities. Also, it has given us a fraction of 5 by 8. Again, it's the same thing. Fraction, multiple, but instead of money, it's giving us total money and the ticket price that is present. But the knowledge point is the same, that is fraction and multiple. So this is something that a student has learned, but still it was difficult for student to solve this type of question because of the second characteristic, can't solve difficult problems even if the knowledge point is known. This is the second characteristic of the question. And moving on to the third one. For the third question, again, I'll take an example here. Here, if you look at the question, it's saying 100 pieces of string and each of length 80 centimeter. So the first thing that every student does is it directly finds out what is the total length of the string, that is 8000 centimeter. And the question is asking me it is a solid roll of 500 centimeters. So you see, the question is actually simple. There are just three of the values given, but still student makes silly mistakes. The reason is because of the trap. This question is actually a trap for the student in which he can make mistake. So even if the question is simple, there is a trap that is present, and in this question the trap is the remaining rope in each roll cannot be glued together again. So if we combine it, if we multiply 80 and 100 and then try to divide by 500, it is a trap for the student and he can't solve it. Again, the next type of question you can see here. The line graph shows, we have a line graph and the exchange point it's showing is 2800. But the graph you can see here doesn't start from zero. It starts from 1000. This means there is a trap that is present. The trap is if it exceeds 1000, then the students will receive 5 gifts. So you see, both the questions that are present here are actually simple if they analyze the condition well. But on purpose, they have put some little bit of trap so that a student can divert. And this is the third characteristic of a PSLE question. That is, easy questions have traps. So even if the question is easy in paper 1, he will still not be able to get full marks in it because of the traps that are present. So, if I summarize everything for you, there are two of the things that are present. First is regarding key points. There are a lot of key points that a student has to handle. And second is the characteristic of the question. So, if I summarize regarding the key points, there were 12 of the topics, 77 of the important key points that a student has to learn, and on top of it, there are 33 difficult points. This is regarding the key points, the difficulty. The next is regarding the characteristic of the question. The first characteristic, as I said, regarding Helen and Evan, I've given you the example. New questions not encountered before. This is the first time that they have seen this type of knowledge point. The second characteristic, even if they have seen this, still it gets difficult for the student. That is the second characteristic. Can't solve difficult problem. Now, even if they can solve, but simple questions have traps. This is nothing but the third characteristics you can say for a PSLE math question. So these are the important points that we have to know before proceeding to understanding more on PSLE math. So the question arises, how we can tackle these two issues regarding the many key points and also the characteristic. For that, if they can tackle these two things very well, they can achieve AL1 in the PSLE math. So let's see how to ace AL1 and prepare for PSLE math. Now we are going to see the solutions for the two difficult parts regarding key points and the characteristic. So for the key point, to tackle a lot of key points, there is a plan that we have come up with. Now, this plan can be followed by every one of the student starting from now. So, what the plan is? The plan is simple. 16, 7 and 4. This is our 16, 7, 4 review plan. Now what is 16? 16 is nothing but the number of weeks. Since we saw there were 77 of the knowledge points. It's a vast number of topics. So this 77 knowledge points, what you can do is you can start preparing, and in 16 weeks you can separate it in such a way you cover the first part, that is paper 1 and paper 2, that is round 1 of PSLE math. So try to master the 77 topics in this first 16 weeks. Then the next part, that is 7. Now what does the 7 mean? 7 is also the number of weeks, you can say. And in this 7 weeks, after finishing the 77 knowledge points, move to the next part. That is the difficult part of paper 2. There were 33 of the difficult points. So reinforce the 33 key difficult points around 7 weeks. And one thing to pay attention on, this 33 are not different from the 77. It's included inside. So you will have a general idea in the first round of review, and also you can deep the understanding. Yet you can master the topic in this period. That is this 7 weeks. So 16 weeks for round 1 review, 7 weeks for round 2 review. That's it. These are the two rounds present, right? So what's the next step? The next step is understanding. Both paper 1 and paper 2 you have done, but it can't be fulfilled unless you practice them. So the 4 represent practice at least 4 mock exams so that you can plan accordingly, like which questions to give time on and which questions not. So this is nothing but the plan that we have come up with. First, prepare for the round 1 review, then the round 2 review, and lastly practice minimum of 4 mock exams. So this is how you can tackle the first part regarding the key points 77 and 33. Since they are a lot, you can start it out from now onwards. So regarding the key points, it's done. Moving on to the next part, the challenging one. Understanding and acing the characteristic of a PSLE math question. For that, let's understand how to target characteristic. Remember the question? Helen and even. So, how to tackle this type of question? Since this is a new key point, for the new key point, what a student has to do is, he first have to master the key points that are needed. Regarding the key point that is needed, as we saw, fraction and ratio. So first thing that a student has to do to solve this is draw a model. That is the comparison model. Now, how can a student think that he has to draw a comparison model here? For that, he has to master the model thing. Then only he can understand that here, this question needs comparison model. So, how he can master this? To master this, first he has to know in which topics he can draw models on. So, there are in total 5 of the topics where models can be drawn. First is whole numbers, then fractions, ratio, percentage, and algebra. But these are topics. Inside every topics, there are many key points. And here, in just first topic, that is whole number, you can see there are 9 of the key points. And 9 key point means every one of them uses different way in drawing a model. So, what we are going to do is, Since it's getting challenging for the student, there are five of them and each one of them have different set of model. We can come up with an in general situation. The in general thing is regarding models, since every question needs different type, you can master the basic three types of models first. The basic three models that are needed is the first one, part whole model. This is a basic type of model every student has to learn. The second is comparison model. Giving a comparison between two quantity, you can see the difference between two of them is given, that is 20. And the third type of model, that is before and after model. Now, the third type of model is basically a combination of part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is nothing but the part whole model, and this is nothing but the second one, comparison model. So, if you combine both of them, you will get the third one. So, the basic three types of model a student has to master so that he can tackle question regarding this. Now, since model is a bit challenging part for the students, what we are going to do is around next year, that is the start of the year, we'll plan an open workshop for a student. So, this model method we are going to learn in depth regarding PSLE next year. We'll plan a free workshop for all the students that are present in our WhatsApp group. The details will be shared on later on, that is next year. But for now, I can surely say we want to present a seminar, an open workshop for all our students. So this is regarding the model method and how we can ace it. But this is just one way of thinking. There are other ways also that a student has to know. It's not just like a question will come and he will think of drawing a model. There are different ways of thinking as well. So the different ways are nothing but if he can ace it, then he can make sure even if a new question comes, he can encounter them efficiently. But for that, he has to learn each and every topic in depth. So, how to train this for the second part? That is the second problem. You remember? The second characteristic was even if the knowledge point is known, but it is challenging for the student. So, what he has to do? For this, let's take an example. The same example that I've just shown you right now. The question was about fraction and multiple. So, here I can see a fraction 2 by 3. Here I can see a multiple 3 times. So, how a student can start thinking about this? For that, he needs to have a good understanding in analysis. How to analyze a question? For this question requires multiple and fraction. So, what he has to do is, whenever we see fraction, percentage or ratio, we try to convert everything into ratio first. And then ratios can be converted into model so that we can visualize it better. But this part is challenging for the student. How we can think by himself. This is what training has to be done. Like a student has to be trained in such a way he can think about analysis by himself. So this is just the first part. The second part is about, let's say for example, this question. Now in this question you can see there are two of the tabs that are present. Tab A, tab B. And there are different of the conditions. So how a student can analyze this question, how to solve this one. For this, whenever a challenging question comes, a student has to first think about how he can visualize the condition. As I just said, it can be a model, it can be a graph, it can be any other figure. For this question, what a student can do is, for understanding it better, since there are different times, 2 p.m., then 5 minutes means 2.5 and 2:15. What he can do is, he can draw a table out of it. So use table to organize information. So this is the table that he can draw to visualize the conditions much more better way. And then it becomes easy for him to solve if all the conditions are present right in front of him. So it's not just this two analytical method. There are other analysis also. Like he can think about deduction, induction, and also spatial visualization, you can say. But there are other ways also in which he can analyze. Here are few of the examples that I have given. Check. Here, this question was based on pattern. So the thought process in which to analyze the condition I have used is drawing a table, just like what we saw. The next analysis include here. It's a access and shortage type of problem. So to analyze the question, I have drawn a sketch so that I can understand more on which one is less, which one is more. This is the second way of analyzing, drawing a sketch. The third one is drawing a graph. For question based on averages, what we can do is we can draw a bar graph to understand which one is above average, which one is below average. These are not just three. The last one is drawing out branches. Some question requires remaining, or you can say left part or used part. For this type of questions, you can draw out branches to analyze the questions in much more deeper way. So this was nothing but the solution, you can say, to tackle the second characteristic. That is, even if the question is difficult, how we can solve it. Now moving on to the third one, the third characteristic. Remember, what was the third characteristic? It was about traps. So how can a student understand and is that there are some traps that are present? For that, you can observe if he gets an answer to check if there is a trap in the question or not, he can verify the answer by putting the situation into a real life. Because sometimes, for an example, what happens is, let's say the answer that you have got is fraction, but the question is asking number of students. Can number of students be in fraction? Of course not. So he can relate it to a real life situation and can check if it's a trap or not. The second type on how he can understand that there is a trap in the question is making sure each of the conditions that he has in the question is used in the answers. Because sometimes what happens is a child forgets to use a specific condition, but still he gets the answer. This is the way to check if it's a trap or not. Most of the question, around 99% of the questions in PSLE involves using all the conditions given in the question. So make sure you have used all the given conditions in the questions before writing down the answer. And lastly, the third part where you can improve on understanding the trap is the unit conversion. Sometimes what happens is there is a particular part that is given in the question. So we have to check unit conversion and fractional interconversion is correct or not. Check at the end. The question is asking in which conversion. Check if it's in liter or centimeter cube. Check whichever it is. And make sure you get back to your question again by checking all the condition answers and also the real life situation. So this is nothing but the solution regarding the three characteristics of the PSLE math question. Now, if this is how we can ace it, now let's understand what are the plans and preparations that we can do in such a way so that a child can start preparing from now on and can aim for the dream school. Because as we saw, for the dream school, there is a particular cutoff score that is needed. And if you have something in your mind, let's say a particular school, then to match the cutoff of the school, what all efforts we should pay attention on. This is what we are going to see right now. What planning we should do from now on so that we can get into our dream school. So, the plan that we have is, since there are a lot of key points, that is 77 and 33 of the difficult key points. On top of it, there is characteristics, that is the plan that I have given. 16 weeks, 7 weeks and 4 mock exam. How a student can manage so many difficult key points in so much time? For that, if there are a lot of key points and there is so much time for now in his hand, but the main question comes regarding the timeline. This is the second challenge a student will face, because what happens is, if I show you, Schools, what they do is they finish off their portion at the end of the May. That is, term 1 ends at the end of May. So this is where he can get the knowledge of paper 1, paper 2. But let's say if he starts preparing after May and the exam is in September. So if you do an analysis, from July, if he starts the revision till September, there is in total of 3 months that he has, 92 days in his hand. And in this 92 days, he's not only preparing for math. There are other subjects also. There are four of the subjects: maths, English, mother tongue, and science. So if you calculate for each of the subjects how much revision time he has, you can see it's nothing but 92 divided by 4, 23. He has only 23 days to master just one subject. But this is just one subject. There are so many different factors. Like maths has 12 of the topics, as I just said, 12 modules. If he wants to master one topic, he will need 1.92 days. Just 1.92 days for one topic. Inside one topic, we saw so many key points. So, how we can manage so many key points in this less amount of time? For that, the plan is the upcoming content. So, the current month that we are going on, we are introducing our term 4 syllabus. Since if he starts late at the end of the May, we are going to start early so that a child has enough time so that he can revise the topics again. So term 4 involves learning these P6 topics in advance so that he can master those topics by the PSLE examination. Then comes the topic 1 review, that is the round 1 review. As we just saw, round 1 involves 77 of the difficult key points, the important ones. So this 77 we are going to learn in term 1, that is January to May, is nothing but the term 1 preparation, which will involve learning the round 1, where we are going to cover 10 past year papers of PSLE. Also, it involves learning the 77 key points in depth. Then in July also in term 2, we'll review the term 1, that is part 1 and part 2. Now you will think, why term 1 and term 2? Two terms involved just for the review of round 1. The reason? There are 77 key points. It's a lot of key points just to understand in one term. That's why it's been separated into two, term 1 and term 2. And lastly, in term 3, we are going to understand this 33 difficult key points, the round 2 review. So term 3 is nothing but about difficult and important key points review. Since a student has already learned the 77 topics, but these are very much, you can say, in depth. But in term 3, he will learn the same topics in depth. So this is the content for round 2. Review include with key points with more deeper understanding. This will be a very challenging part for a student. Now if I show you the syllabus for the term 4, this is the syllabus on which we are going to cover the 10 lessons. Now term 4 is going to be very intense for a student because there will be 5 of the lessons that will be covered each day. Since it starts from 16th of the November and 18th of the November, every day there will be one lesson for 5 days. Then there will be one holiday, again 5 days in total. So this is regarding the term 4 syllabus. The term 1 syllabus, which involves round 1 review. Here we have the syllabus that is covering 16 of the lessons. And in this 16 lesson, we'll review the round 1. Then the term 2 syllabus, right in front of your screen, there will be 8 lessons. Since term 2 will be in the vacation time, this is also an intense program for the student. We are also going to cover the round 1 in this. Then comes the last term, that is the term 3. Term 3 is nothing but lesson involving 10 of the topics. But in this, last 4 are nothing but mock exams, as I just said about our plan. 16, 7 and 4, as we all know. This 4 involves 4 mock papers that we are going to make sure a student does, and we are going to explain the challenges that is faced by the student. So this is regarding the term 1, term 2, term 3, and also the term 4 that is going to come just now. Now, apart from this, we have a special course, a special workshop planned for every of the student that is listening to the seminar right now. Since PSLE is going to be challenging, we are preparing an open workshop for the student. This workshop is nothing but going to make them experience how challenging PSLE is going to be. So this workshop involves two of the lessons, lesson 1 and lesson 2, which will commence in the next month, 14th and 15th December, back to back 2 days. The topics that we are going to learn is with respect to PSLE. This is nothing but fractions, and second lesson is area and volume. Since these are the challenging two topics that we are going to learn, but since you have been so attentive till the end of the seminar, what we are going to do is we are planning to give a 50% discount on these two lessons. So normally our lesson costs $120 for one lesson, but because of the 50% discount, you will get a discount of 120 in these two lessons. So you just have to pay $120 for the two lessons. Who will going to conduct this seminar? The lesson? It's going to be me. That is Teacher Smith. Here it's just an overall idea about myself to the parents that don't know me yet. And this is the fees about the PSLE level workshop. The two lessons will cost $120 in total. Now, some of the parents are new to me. So, to make sure that you know me very well, this is some of the feedbacks that I have received from my parents. You can have a look on this feedbacks. Here are some of the feedbacks. I'll pause it for a while for a 10 seconds, you can say, to give you to make sure that you read the feedbacks. I think it's not a bit clear on the screen. So no worries, we'll move on to the next part. That is, if you are interested to sign up for the PSLE level workshop and register for any of the term 4 classes or term 1 classes, here is the QR code. You can scan the QR code to contact Teacher Meng for making your registration in my class. And also, if you have any doubts after the seminar regarding the school, you can say, regarding the DSA process, regarding the plan, anything, you can scan the QR code to contact. You can message us in the PSLE 2025 study group, or you can message me personally if you have any of the doubts regarding the seminar. Since this seminar is not going to have a Q&A session at the end, but you can still contact me at the end if you have any more of the doubts. And if you are eager to sign up for the courses, here are the QR code in which you can scan and register your child for the upcoming terms and the courses. So that's it. That's my time. I am Teacher Smith. If you have any questions regarding the term 4, term 1 or any of the questions, you can ask me on my personalized WhatsApp right now. For now, I'll I'm Teacher Smith signing off right now, but I'll see you in the next seminar. That is the DSA seminar. You remember in the next year that we are going to have just before the start of DSA. So that's my time. I'm signing off right now. I know I've been talking a lot about this, but yeah, thank you so much, parents, for joining the seminar and being attentive till the end of the seminar. Means a lot. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the seminar. Any questions, you can message me now on WhatsApp. I'll attend you one by one. Yeah. Hi, 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 hi. Oh, so many message parent. Messages parent did during the seminar. Cannot hear, was very laggy. Oh, then it was nice. Where will the lesson be? The lesson is going to be in person in our learning center. The address and for more details you can contact through the group, that is PSLE 2025 study group. It's going to be an in-person lesson. Let me show you more details about the seminar. This is the details. Thank you so much, parents, for joining. It means a lot. You have been a great audience, a wonderful audience throughout the seminar. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have been a wonderful audience throughout the seminar. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope this session was insightful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, thanks. I can read many of the comments saying thanks. Thank you. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yeah, we can see. Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful speech. Thank you. It means a lot. You have been a wonderful audience also. I hope the session was insightful to all the parents. Thank you so much for joining the seminar today. It means a lot. Oh, some parents have shared a medal with me. Thank you. I'll wear all the 4 medals that you have shared. The medal means a lot. Oh, some of the parents have messaged me on WhatsApp also. Hello. Do you have the slide on the set? Okay, regarding the knowledge points, I know the video was not a bit clear, but if you want it, I'll share the more details on our on private. You can send me a message if you need any of the part that was unclear for you. I can give you a quick review of it. Just waiting for seminar. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, parent. Yes. I hope the session was insightful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. That's my time. That's me. It's my pleasure attending the seminar for all of you and giving you some of the insights. Okay, that's my time. I'll sign off right now. I've been texting many of the parents that have texted me regarding some questions. I'll attend them one by one. If you have any of the questions, you can message me on my WhatsApp number. It's my number is still in the group. You can message me there. I can see. Okay, thank you so much. I'll log off right now, but if you have any of the question, you can ask me